Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Voxbox. Today, I'm joined by my brother, Noah, and we're going to be talking about Call of Duty Black Ops. But first, as always, I'm going to ask you, Noah, what is your favorite Magic system? Now, that can be from books, movies, TV, it doesn't really matter.
I think I did some thinking and it's not the French band. Um,
I'm glad you went with something else.
so I like the way Morrowind did theirs, where you can make your own spells and they can be as overpowered as you want them to be. And I don't like spell slots. I don't like resource based. Like mana is fine because you can regen mana pretty easily. But resource-based spells makes me feel like I don't wanna use the high cost spells even though they are the best.
That's a good point that I don't think I've ever fully considered, especially when it comes to things like D&D where you have to pay a certain amount of money to use each spell, which doesn't exist in Baldur's Gate 3, thank God. But I think Yeah, I think you're onto something there with the whole overpowered spells because those are more fun.
You have to pay physical, like, gold coins to cast spells?
Oh, yeah, there's some gold coins where you have a what is it, like, a requirement is, like, 10,000 gold or 1 diamond.
Yeah, I would never use the spell. I wouldn't. I barely even in Legend of Zelda, in, Breath of the Wild, I barely even use the Master Sword
Why?
because I just didn't want it to break. I would use awful weapons.
But
So
you get it back. The Master Sword recharges
yeah,
itself.
but what if it was recharging when I needed it?
That's that's an incredibly good point, but you just wouldn't use it in a situation where you think you might need it in the near future.
I would just never use it.
Okay, fair enough. So dear listener, you might or watcher, if you're a listener, you definitely wouldn't be able to see this, but you might notice that the setup is a little bit different. That's because I've gained some new audio equipment recently, and Noah, unfortunately, is the test subject for that. Now, because of that, I'm very happy to have him here to talk about Call of Duty Black Ops because I know very little and he knows a ton about the particular story, which I did not realize was a real thing until Call of Duty Cold War. What was the last one?
You joined us for Cold War, yes,
Yeah.
and then you played the one after it, maybe.
I didn't play I like the Black Ops games. I'm not a huge fan of the Modern Warfare games.
Yeah, well, most of this isn't Modern Warfare. Most of this will pretty much all of it is in Modern Warfare.
It's all Black Ops.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so. Um,
Well, it's all by Treyarch.
yeah,
Not all the games are called Black Ops, but yeah.
yeah. On the desk here, if you're watching, we do have the Juggernog and Speed Cola machines. Personally, uh, I prefer Speed Cola because I seem to get hit way too many times for Juggernog to be useful at all, but I also suck at Call of Duty Zombies, as does the third person who normally plays with us, which is our father.
We were just recently able to do the newest Easter egg.
Oh,
The
yeah?
map came out on the 30th. It's a hard boss fight. First time, not good. He didn't stay up really at all. Second time, we had another random guy. I ended the game. We beat the boss, but I ended the game with 49 revives.
Okay.
And I think going into the fight, I didn't have that many. I had
Jesus.
maybe 5.
Um, I think one of the funniest things, I remember is you used to text me at, like, 2 in the morning after playing with dad, and it would just be this huge rant about how much you hated playing with him because he couldn't do anything.
I think the worst, it got really bad in Cold War when you would do Outbreak because it was a large map and he isn't very good at directions. Um, like a lot of the times you would there's still that one time I remember we were playing the gunfight, it's a 2v2 multiplayer one. I said he's on your left, and you turn to the right.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember
But
that.
the time when I like physically left the house, I was so angry is I kept telling him to go north and he would just go up the hill. And the up the hill was maybe east, but it was not north. And it is impossible.
That's so funny. Yeah, it's exhausting. I can't believe that A, you're still doing it, and B, he still hasn't figured it out. Like the
It is
direction.
rough.
Yeah, that's insane. Okay, so take me through what the general idea of the story. Like what is the main thing about zombies?
Well, I'd say World at War was a bit messy. When they first made the first map, Nocturne Totem, they really didn't have a story. Going into Verruct, they didn't really have anything. Shino Numa was the first part where they're like, okay, we can start doing something. But Nocturne Totem, you're not even the main characters, like none of them. You're just four unnamed soldiers. And then a plane carrying a shipment of 115 crash lands pretty close to the airbase that you're in. And then that's what makes the zombies attack you. Verruct, you do play as Dempsey and then three other Marines. That's the first time you play as any of the main characters. And then Dempsey's mission is to save Peter McCain, one of his Marines. Going on to Shino Numa, that's where you find him hanging. He parachuted in.
Uh-huh.
And he's just hanging from the rafters. But what you're really there for is Richthofen's journal.
Okay.
And Shino Numa is a base where another meteorite of 115 landed near, and there's three main groups that are working at this point with 115. In Germany, it's Group 935. In America, it's Broken Arrow. And then in Japan, it is Division 9. And they're all working to refine it, do whatever they want with it. But Group 935 is clearly winning because they have Richthofen.
Right.
And Der Riese is probably one of the bigger maps in the story. First time you see Pack-a-Punch. Shino Numa is the first time you see the perks.
Huh.
But you get a lot of the radios about Maxis, like Dr. Maxis and Richthofen and what they've been doing with Group 935. And that's when a lot of the story kicks off because you get the feeling from the radios that they obviously are not aligned in their scientific ways.
Right.
Maxis wants to make wonder weapons for the Nazi army.
Of course.
But Richthofen just wants to work on his teleporter tech. And then one time he's like really excited. He teleports a walnut across the room and he really wants to show Maxis. And Maxis comes in and he's like, Richthofen, this is not what you're supposed to be working on.
Yeah.
You're wasting our resources.
Like, hey man, this is impressive, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to see some Q3 reports
Yeah.
next little while.
So Richthofen's obviously like, Maxis has lost his way. I need to deal with him. I need to start running the company. So what he does, he makes his teleporter and it finally works. It sends him first off when they're getting live subjects and they would teleport back, they would be zombified. And that was like the first bit of zombies inside of the German compound.
Right.
And they're also making a undead army for Hitler.
Of course.
Yeah. Wonder Weapons and the Undead Army. Max's wife at that time gets bit and they tried to hide it. But we'll get back to her later. But what Richthofen does is he makes his teleporter. It works. He teleports to the moon where he, on the moon, finds a pyramid device. And this pyramid device was put there by the Keepers or the Vril, possibly the Vril, which are a subterranean species. So they live under the earth.
Of
Currently.
course.
And then he sets up a whole base around it. He makes Griffin Station, and that's where you play the moon map. Is on Griffin Station.
Is that the? I might be getting confused. Was that in Cold War?
No,
What was the one where it's you're like jumping, teleporting between different areas of the moon base? Was that? Am I thinking of Firebase Z?
there was a teleporter on Firebase Z, yes,
Okay, I'm probably
but there's
thinking
only
of Firebase
one
Z.
teleporter. Jumping, teleporting in Cold War. We'll get to Cold War. I've got a list of all the maps.
He knows what's up. He's a scholar.
Okay, but anyways, this is before the moon map takes place.
Right.
Richtofen himself goes there,
Okay.
and he touches the MPD, the moon pyramid device is what they call it. He touches it and gets zapped, and then he starts to hear voices, which is presumably the Shadow Man, who we'll also get to later.
I feel like you're just throwing names at me.
The Shadow Man is a dark ether entity,
Okay.
who we'll also get to later. We're just getting the first bit is really it's very convoluted, but it really lines out later. So he starts hearing voices, and then they sort of give him ideas on how to control this power. He knows there's something inside the MPD. Someone finds a rat on the moon base. I don't know how the rat gets there because presumably they would teleport everything to the moon.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Unless a rat like sneaks in.
It sneaks into the teleporter, but they find a rat near the MPD and they kill it, and then its soul goes into the MPD and fills up the jar. And that's how they know it needs souls to work. So let's go back to Doris.
Okay.
Richtofen is like, hey, I'm gonna put Samantha Max as his dog in the teleporter.
Okay.
And then I'm going to be like, oh, Samantha, look, your dog's in the teleporter. She runs to the teleporter. She gets inside of it. Maxis, who's her dad, goes in with her to try and save her. They both get teleported. Maxis goes to the crazy place, which we will also get to later.
God damn it.
But Samantha goes onto the moon. And I'm pretty sure her dog just goes to the dark ether or something. But her dog was pregnant, and that's what makes the hellhounds. This one dog making it in makes all of the hellhounds that are sent at you. So Maxis goes into the MPD. I mean, Samantha goes into the MPD,
Okay.
and then they're like, we need her out of there because Richtofen wants to be the one inside. So they get Maxis back from the crazy place somehow.
Okay.
But
Somehow.
in the crazy place, he's learned to commune with electricity. So he is now able to like talk through radios and robotic devices. So what they do is they get Maxis and they're like, "Hey, you need to get Samantha out of here." And he's like, "Oh, Samantha, you can come out now." And then she finally opens up the MPD and he kills himself right in front of her. So she goes crazy. Sends that's the reason why the zombies are coming after you as the main four, because Samantha is sending them at wherever Richtofen is. That's what her main goal is. She's just sending the zombies at you because she's in the MPD, and the MPD is giving her dark ether power. So she's summoning the zombies to kill you.
It's becoming increasingly clear how little I understood anything that was going on in the many different iterations of this game that I was just following whatever you said to do. You're like, we got to go here and do this. I'm like, perfect. I can do that. No problem. It's becoming very clear that I had no clue what was actually happening.
Yeah, I mean, this is technically only the first 4 maps.
Oh,
Like, we haven't even gotten to the point where we're playing. I mean, technically, Doris is what we've talked about, but it does sort of level out.
oh my god.
So how the 4 characters come together is they're reincarnations of heroes from the Great War, where the humans and the keepers fought off the Apothicans. And the Apothicans are um pretty much demons, you could say.
You could say that potentially they're potentially demons. Okay.
Yeah, so the Shadow Man, he's kind of like the head honcho of the demons at the moment. There does come like larger, or well, not really larger, but other big names in the Apothicon side. But they haven't made it to our universe yet. The Keepers are sort of trying to help us um just fight back and no, we'll get to how they help a little later. But how you get to the 4 characters, they're reincarnations of the heroes.
Okay.
So, one of the people that isn't in the 4, but he's also a reincarnation is Pablo Marinez. So out of um Richtofen has live test subjects, and it's Nikolai Takio and Pablo Marinez. But Pablo Marinez has a problem with his spleen. So he gets subbed out in these live test subjects for Dempsey, who's been captured. And they're being infused with 115, I'm pretty sure, or something. And they're sort of getting mind controlled, this set of main characters, because there's multiple sets now. There's a third set, but 2 sets interact. So this one is Premise.
Okay.
The starter one that you play in Black Ops 1 will be Premise. So Premise, other than Richtofen, they're mind controlled by Richtofen, and they're sort of just unlikely allies because Richtofen needs someone to help him as Samantha is just throwing zombies at him at this point.
Okay.
So, in the Doris facility, um, Dempsey gets a hold of the Wonder Waff, the wonder weapon that shoots lightning, zaps all the zombies.
Right.
And while they're teleporting, he shoots it and it overloads the teleporter, and they go forward in time to Kino der Toten, which is a now rundown theater for a German base. And what they do there, honestly, not much.
Not a lot. See a show, hang out a little bit.
I don't think they really do anything. They just kind of stop by because the teleporter overloaded and they just get sent into the future. But there is another teleporter there, so they had to teleport out. Dempsey overloads it again,
Okay.
and they get sent to Ascension, which is a Russian space station. And here they meet a soul of a man called Gersh. He's
Hmm.
a scientist, and they're just helping him. They free his soul here, but they also gain his Gersh device, which is another form of teleporter. So in helping him, he lets him teleport out. Oh no, sorry. They use a lunar lander from Kino to Ascension, and then after helping Gersh, then Dempsey overloads it, and that's what puts them in the Pentagon. No, Pentagon's happening at the same time as Ascension. They go to the Pentagon at some other point.
That's the one with Nixon and Kennedy.
Yes.
Yeah, and for some reason, um, Fidel Castro.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They go to It's right before the break-in that Nixon and Kennedy are talking about. Um,
I love that one. That one's my favorite map, I think.
but Call of the Dead is where they end up. So Call of the Dead is one with George Romero,
Right.
and
Where George Romero was like an actual boss.
yeah,
Okay,
and
right.
Sarah
I thought
Michelle Gellar and
yeah, and like the the last girl kind of star. Yeah.
Danny Trejo, right?
Yeah.
So what they do there is you now play as these 4 actors who first they're there for a movie, but a 115 meteorite landed nearby, and that's why George Romero was like, "We gotta film a movie here," because this is the scene where this is a place where zombies actually happened,
Right.
and he thought it was awesome. Whole crew gets zombified except those 4,
Of course they do.
and the 4 premise heroes are stuck behind a door, like a big metal door. So you, as the 4 actors, are meant to help them obtain the Vril device. Um, Again, Vril are a subterranean super species who I don't know much about, but they are super intelligent, and this device is what's going to help them open the MPD again. And at this point, everyone's on Richtofen's side. Everyone thinks he's trying to save the world. No one thinks he's evil because they've sort of been a little bit brainwashed. Um, Ooh, Shangri-La is up next. Shangri-La is on Mars.
Okay. All right.
So from from this point when it's in Black Ops 1, we don't know that. There is speculation. I don't know how the speculation came to be, but there is speculation. And what Shangri-La has is the focusing stone, which is another artifact that they need, but they're stuck in a time loop on Shangri-La. Richtofen has previously visited Shangri-La and was hailed as sort of a deity to these ancient people. But now he's back and there's 2 adventurers and they're stuck in a time loop. And you gotta free him. So these 2 adventurers, I forget the names, is like Frank and George or something. It's nothing. They're like a huge character. But you figure out how the time loop works, you help them out, and you take the focusing stone. Um, and that's pretty much the whole point of Shangri-La. And it's also on Mars for some reason, but it has been confirmed recently. So, um, we'll get back to this.
I feel like the more you're explaining it to me, I feel like to sell the inclusion of zombies to a group at Treyarch or Activision, they had to come up with a story, and then they just kept having to add to that story to make it seem like they had something to do. Like, I'm
Yeah,
certain it
until like Black Ops 3, it was really messy.
yeah, until Black Ops 3. Are we even at Black Ops 2?
No, not yet.
I didn't think so.
We're only on the second game. Um, Next chronologically is Classified, which is at the Pentagon. So this is how Premise reaches the Pentagon. Um, First. So they make it okay, so it is right after oh no. Oh yeah, it is right after Fidel Castro's meeting with JFK. But they're in the Pentagon now and it's kind of run down, it's kind of broken. And um I'll be honest, I don't really know what they do there. That was one of the maps. The Easter egg is you have to make it to like round 150 and
That's
then you get
insane.
the cutscene, so I never did that one.
No, that's nuts.
But I think they do meet the other versions of themselves here, and it sort of kicks off the beginning of a time loop. Um, so let's say for now, Ultimus Ultimus has now met Primus. So Ultimus is the second version, and this is the version that meets.
You sound like really shitty Transformer names.
I don't even know what they have a stupid name for the new group. It's like Redeemed or something. I don't know. It's a stupid name.
That adds up with all the whole Redemption Island and all that rebirth and whatnot.
Well, that's real life people.
Yeah, but there was the one on. It doesn't matter.
Redemption Island was Battle Royale.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I'm getting it mixed up. I these have never been my favorite games.
Um. So they had to do something in the Pentagon for some reason. But the real big one, Moon, is up next. So Moon is when things go cuckoo bonkers.
Hmm.
So during Moon, your whole plan is to get Samantha out of the out of the MPD. Maxis is sort of talking to you through the electronics there and trying to tell you you shouldn't be trusting this guy, but you've never met Maxis, so
Right.
who cares at this point? Um, so what you do is you fill up the souls, you put the Vril device in the MPD. Samantha is there, she's floating. Richtofen swaps souls with her. Samantha is now in Richtofen's body. Richthofen is now in Samantha's body. And then they blow up Earth because that's Maxis's way of being like, oh, you have all this power now. I'm going to ruin it by blowing up the Earth. And I'm pretty sure it's in a way of like, what are you going to rule over now? The Earth is gone. But Richthofen has power over the dark ether, so the Earth isn't all they have. Yeah, I don't know why, but while this is going on, you can also play Nuketown, and you can be the CDC and the CIA, and then they get nuked. It's like it's like a side thing that really doesn't matter, where you can hear like the steps of the Easter egg through radios on Nuketown, and then like round 25 you get nuked. Um, but that's the end of Black Ops 1.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so much.
Now it's come to in Black Ops 2, you don't play as the original characters for I think most of it. You play as the original in Origins, but Transit's first. Transit you meet Russman, who was he's an old guy. Pretty sure he was part of Broken Arrow. And then you get Stuhlinger. Stuhlinger was he's the one that can hear Richtofen speaking to him because he was part of the Cult of the Flesh, which is now a group of humans that eat zombies because the world was nuked. And they're trying to survive out of here.
Okay.
Russman Stuhlinger, and there's Misty. She's just like a mechanic girl. And then there's the nerd guy. I don't remember his name. The nerd one.
Is this the one with the bus?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense as to why the world looked like that.
Yeah, so it was just previously nuked. And then there's two paths you can take on these next few maps. One is you're helping Maxis, one you're helping Richtofen. But the canon way is you're helping Maxis. You don't really listen to Stuhlinger because he's the only one that can hear Maxis, and they think, oh, maybe he's not. I mean, we can all hear this guy who's speaking to us electronically, but only this guy can hear this German man speaking to him. And they don't know he's eaten zombie flesh, so they just think he's a little bit crazy, and he doesn't really want to say, "Oh, I've eaten zombie flesh," because also it's
How
kind
do you
of
bring that up? Yeah.
yeah,
Sitting around and like, hi, my name's whatever, and I'm addicted to zombie flesh. And the whole group goes, hi.
yeah.
Yeah.
But apparently, it was a big thing, the cult of the flesh. So probably a good portion of people have been eating zombie flesh.
That's insane. I get it. I don't condone it, but I understand it.
Um, so this whole time you're setting up like sort of beacons Okay, we'll say we're setting up beacons for Maxis to gain the power back from Richtofen. So he
Okay.
now wants to control the Dark Ether, but he's not really letting that on. He's just saying, "Oh, you help me fix these things." So you fix the one in Transit, which is um, it's a pretty alright map. I think the the way it's done isn't that great because of the fog, but that was like a limitation of the hardware. You couldn't have a full open map. You do meet the Avogadro here. That's the main guy, the main boss.
Avogadro?
Yes, he's a lightning man.
Okay.
So he's a man completely made of lightning, not Maxis, who just can control electricity and speak with you. Um, you sort of go into some underground facilities. There's a little bit of lore in the place, but you just fix this this beacon for Maxis, and then you move on to a high rise in Shanghai.
Okay. Okay.
Now, in this high rise, um, people are often saying that this is probably one of the worst maps. It wasn't great.
Uh,
It was a little janky. You're also just fixing a beacon, so you're not doing anything new, and you get one of the worst wonder weapons, which is the Squicklifier, which makes the floor slippery and the zombies fall over. It's not great. Um, and then we can pretty much just go past that. You fix a beacon for Maxes again, but then you go to Buried. So Buried has a very good amount of lore with it, and um, it's an old, like, colonial sort of Western, typical American town,
okay.
but it's underground in Africa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sorry. Something happened that made it pretty much uproot itself and go to Africa and also be underground. So it's a mining town where their main ore that they were finding was 115, and it was slowly making people crazy. And we learn about this character, Jebediah. He makes the Pack-a-Punch machine with the help of the Keepers, talking to him in his mind because he's been exposed to 115. Some guy gets zombified from overexposure and bites his mom, kills his mom. And you get radios of this Jebediah Brown, and he's speaking with the Keepers, and they're giving him blueprints, and they're talking about things that he doesn't understand. But he finally builds the Pack-a-Punch, and he makes a big deal. He's like, "Hey, everyone, come check out my new machine. It can make your lever action shoot faster than you've ever seen."
Okay.
And people are using it. They're loving it. And it's a great success. But then he puts his mom in there, his dead mom, and she becomes a ghost. And she haunts the place now. So in Buried, before you get to the Pack-a-Punch, you have to go through a house with this specter in it. And if she hits you, she steals your money. And that's the mom, the dead Pack-a-Punched mom. I'm not sure what makes the town itself uproot and go to Africa, but I'm sure it's something to do with 115. But in the end here, you fix another thing for Maxis, and he regains power of the Dark Ether over Richtofen and puts Richtofen's soul in a zombie body. So now we have a zombified Richtofen. There's a lot of Richtofens. Zombie Richtofen is one of the more main ones that we will see again.
Huh.
But for right now, we can sort of put those guys away, the transit crew. The next and last map of Black Ops 2 was Origins. Origins, the one in France during World War II. with the giant robots?
Ye-
Okay.
I up until this very moment, I didn't realize there was more than one map on Black Ops 2. I thought it was just transit.
Yeah, when we played it, we never got the DLC. But actually, we are missing one of the maps from Black Ops 2, but that comes in way later, and it's a big one. But we'll get back to it.
Okay.
Not the original crew.
Okay.
Um. Anyways, Origins.
Right.
This is where the Ultimus crew meets up. They've all been sent on a mission to find out what's going on in the dig site in France. Another 115 thing. And when they all meet at the same building that Richtofen is in, currently cutting Maxis's brain out of his head. Different Maxis, same guy, but different version of him. Puts his brain in a jar, and then what your goal is to put him in a little robot drone, and you're technically going to send him to Agartha through the crazy place. So this is the first time you see the crazy place. You've known about the crazy place because that's where Maxis went to learn how to commune with electricity.
Right.
So, while at the dig site, they find a monument that has the 4 heroes like in stone. They've got huge statues of them. And then that's when you realize you're reincarnations of the great heroes. You see them in stone, and then you gain their weapons, which were elemental staves, and that's what's used to make it to Agartha.
Right.
So, with the giant robots kind of stomping the lands, you gotta go into the robots, get staff pieces. You gotta make 4 staves. That's pretty much the whole Easter egg thing. You make 4 staves, you put Maxis in a little drone, you go to the crazy place, you send Maxis up there, and that's it. But what you see after is you finally see Agartha. Samantha is in there. She's playing with her little zombie toys. Eddie is in there, who's a little kid version of Richtofen. And then Maxis is in there as well. So you know those 3 are in the house in Agartha.
Okay. In the lightning guy. Is Agartha not the lightning guy?
No, Agartha's a different place. The crazy place is where he learned. No, Avogadro is the lightning guy.
Okay. You're throwing a lot of A's at me, and I don't know what's going on.
Avogadro's the lightning guy, and he has nothing to do with this right now. Agartha is a dimension. It's sort of like heaven. A man called Dr. Monty, who's the sort of opposite of the Shadow Man. If the Shadow Man is like Satan, Dr. Monty is sort of like God.
Okay.
Dr. Monty owns the house. It's his house.
Okay.
And he's trying to make paradise up there for these innocent souls. And he's collected Maxis, Samantha, and Richtofen currently.
Right.
And then at the end of the Easter egg, you see the cutscene, but then it cuts back to the 4 heroes in their iconic pose and it says the end. And brings you into Black Ops 3.
Okay. I'm going to stop you there then, because we only have about 10 minutes left, and on Voxbox, we like to talk about what we've learned
Okay.
or talk about, and I feel like you've given me a lot. So this is definitely going to be, apparently we're going to be doing 2 Black Ops. We should have done a Black Ops episode per game, but now that we've gotten through 2, we're just going to do the others a different time. But when you were talking, it made me laugh because I thought about this nostalgic moment almost that certainly is shared amongst many people who had an Xbox 360 or a PS3 during that time frame. Of we didn't have the DLC because we needed somebody else to pay for the map packs because we had no money.
Yep.
So I was a little bit worried when we were doing this, where I'm like, I don't know if there's going to be enough to talk about that falls in the realm of fantasy sci-fi for Voxbox. And then as you kept going, I realized, I'm like, this is actually probably better written than some of the sci-fi books I have.
Yeah, it gets more mythological, ancient evils,
Yeah,
gods and demons as we go on.
that's so you're throwing names at me, and I can't. And I've confessed on here a few times that I'm really bad with pronunciations of fantasy names. So the fact that you're throwing things at me that if I were to look up, I wouldn't be able to spell or even say, speaks volumes. But the what makes me laugh about that is there's definitely a dude at Activision or Treyarch who's desperately trying to keep his job. So he's writing a story that there's no way he or anyone else could have come up with without.
The guy that is
We
that bad?
Yeah, we just lost video.
Oh,
I'm gonna pause it here for a second while we get that back. Okay, well, that was weird, but we're back. Um, as I said, people were doing a new thing and we're trying to get all the kinks out. And so I'm hoping the audio sounds good. I haven't been able to listen to it yet. So hopefully that isn't messed up. But what were we talking about? We were talking
we're
about
talking about the guy that wrote.
yes, the guy who wrote the story.
So this guy, his name is Jason Blundell. He left at the end of Black Ops 4, but he was great at it, but he would like frequently go on like streamers shows and he would like be blinking in Morse code. He would be transmitting messages. He put things everywhere in the games. For like from 2013 on, he was like, yeah, there's this Easter egg in Black Ops 3 that you guys still haven't solved, and people haven't still solved it. He was just recently talking to these streamers. That's why I said Shangri-La was recently confirmed to be on Mars. That he talked about that recently.
Do you think so? Do you think there actually is one, or do you think he's just bullshitting?
It's entirely possible that there is one.
He's
Put
totally
these
possible.
ciphers in there that you had to put through like 8 different decoders to figure out what it says, and it's just like, "Hey, guys." It's never like anything super major, but he puts shit everywhere.
That's so that I you definitely need to be like a special kind of person to
Yeah.
dedicate your life not only to making like a convoluted storyline like this, but also then learning Morse code, learning how to blink Morse code, and then expecting other people to pick that up
Yeah, but
in
they always do. It's people I saw a post recently from all these new videos of him appearing on streamers' live streams. It was a post saying, "Do you think he's blinking in Morse code again?" And it was like a 30-second clip of him just blinking sort of irregularly, and he's like, "I don't know Morse code, but this doesn't seem normal."
this is great because this is like this kind of speaks to the amount of paranoia one guy can create. That's just simply by being weird for like 2 years
Yeah.
and then being normal for the rest of his life. So so he writes this super intense story, layers things in the games that suggest that he has, other secrets that he hasn't told, continuously bugs people and makes fun of people for not doing stuff. And after all that, you're telling me he didn't even write the more recent Black Ops games?
No. But it is a little bit easier to tell because they're very linear compared to what we've gone through so far.
Yeah, this dude sounds like he'd be a great dungeon master, but I'd also hate to be at his table.
Yeah, you'd probably need to learn some sort of ancient language.
Yeah, and, actually, historically, funny enough, most of the languages at my table, because D&D has a bunch of different languages, are just different languages on the planet. But I do know one of the players in, Broken Shadow, shout out, Eric Fane Mazareth, uh, he speaks fucking Old Norse to do his spells.
That would be one of the most recent map is very Norse heavy.
I what
You
is
have to fight an ice giant.
what is the game? What is the current game?
Black Ops 7. We did Black Ops
We did
2.
Black Ops 1 and 2.
Yeah. Oh, we also did World at War.
World at War,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was 1.5.
Yeah, World at War, and what was that name? What did you say it was? Nocturnal Totem?
Nocturne Totem, yeah.
Nocturne Totem? I so how many of the Black Ops games have zombie maps? Because I thought it
Oh,
wasn't all of them.
there's all of them.
It is all of them.
Black Ops 3, 4. There is no 5. That was Cold War. Um, there is a 6, but you take a short break into Vanguard.
Did Vanguard have zombies?
Yeah, but it wasn't great.
Okay.
But you still, it's lower. It's got implications in the lore, so you do need to know it. So Black Ops 4, Cold War, Vanguard, Black Ops 6 and 7. So he wrote Black Ops 3 and 4 still that we haven't talked about.
Right.
And then he didn't write Vanguard, Cold War, 6, and the most recent.
What was the name of Black Ops 6? It wasn't just Black Ops 6.
Just Black Ops 6, I'm pretty sure.
It's just Black Ops 6?
Yeah. You played that one.
I know. I don't think I ever called it Black Ops 6.
What else would you call it?
I thought it had a name.
Google it.
My phone is the one recording. I can't Google it.
You got a laptop.
Well, I don't want to mess up with it. We just had a problem with the laptop. I'm not messing up with it again. There's got to be a name. I feel like there was a different name to it. I think that one was the one they just called Black Ops, wasn't it?
No.
Is it? What is it?
Black Ops 6.
It's just called Black Ops 6?
Yes. You think they would make...
Yeah, that's exactly the type of shit I think that they would do. While you're telling me about the different ways they were getting to different places, like how they took a lunar lander to wherever.
Yeah, they just found a lunar lander in
Yeah.
the theater. I don't know how it got
That makes
there.
me sad. That sounds like Left 4 Dead, where just suddenly you're like, oh, I'm going to take this race car we find in this mall.
Yeah. But I mean, you would find a race car in a mall. You wouldn't find a Russian lunar lander in a Berlin German theater. Well, I don't know why it was there.
Yeah.
You also wouldn't find a lunar lander. Also, if you've seen the lunar lander, I don't know how it made it all the way to Russia. It's just like a platform with one little thruster.
Well, yeah, the lunar lander was supposed to land on the moon and stay there.
Yeah, but there's multiple now. And you can just stand on them. They don't have a roof.
Jeez, you got to turn the mic a little bit more towards it because you got it. Yeah.
I'm getting all twisted around.
Yeah. We're almost done. But so normally we talk about the various implications of stories and things like that, but because of that's usually from a perspective of English, because I wouldn't have a hope in hell of trying to uh you know, what is the word I'm looking for? Analyze this story. I can guarantee you that I there's nothing I can do to analyze it. So I'm just going to ask you, unbiasedly, what is your favorite map from those first 3 games?
First 3 games. I'm gonna immediately rule out any of the ones in World at War. I think they're a little too simple. Origins, I do like. It's really big. I like the 4 melee, 4 wonder weapons you can get. Is there anything in Black Ops 1 that could top Origins? Moon is kind of fun, but it's a little frustrating. I would say it's probably Origins, and I don't think that's controversial. I'm not going to say that Mob of the Dead is my favorite because we didn't even talk about that one yet.
Mob of the Dead?
Mob of the Dead. That one is huge lore-wise, but it is also a little simple, like Easter egg-wise.
Is that the one that's like, what is the one that's bird's eye view?
That's Dead Ops Arcade.
Dead Ops Arcade. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
That
I
one
wouldn't
was
play
weird.
that much.
Yeah.
You fight a gorilla. That's like the main boss. But it's really hard.
I would hope so. It's a gorilla.
No, just get into the gorilla.
Oh, okay, fair. Okay, then next question. If you had to play with our father on one of these maps, do you think it would make you A, quit the map, or B, do you think it's simple enough comparatively to these newer games that it wouldn't actually be that bad?
I think in these newer games, having the field upgrade healing aura so you can revive him from wherever. That really helps. I think on Origins, it wouldn't be possible. It's such a large map, and it's all mud, so you couldn't run over and, like, revive him, and he'd get lost. Um, but most of the other ones, you could probably any of the ones from World at War, I mean, they're very hard, so he would die a lot. Most of the ones from Black Ops 1, they're pretty small. Moon might get a little confusing for him. He probably wouldn't know how to put on the spacesuit,
Oh, 100% no.
and you would die. Mob of the Dead, he would be screwed in. It's very tight corners, and it's long. Like, it's not a huge map, but it's really long and narrow. Um,
Dear listener, I hope you realize we say this, it sounds like we hate playing with our father. And while we do love our father because he is our father, um, there are days where we genuinely hate playing with our father because it is aggravating. Not in like the sense of like it's like, it's like if you do that again, I'm gonna find a way to reach through the TV and slap the controller out of your hand. And I want you to think about this for a second, viewer or listener, whatever you're doing. I want you to think about how angry you have to be to come up with interdimensional teleportation simply to remove someone's ability to play a game.
I think Cold War was one of the easiest zombies of all time. Like, you got so overpowered in it, and he still wouldn't be able to survive.
Which one was in Cold War?
Um, it had D Machine.
Team Machine.
Yeah, you had 4 sort of modules for a big weapon that it shot, like, lasers or shot ice. That's the first one where you get to play as, like, Weaver. It's, like, right before Firebase Z, I'm pretty sure.
I feel like I definitely remember Oh, was this the one with the crash plane? Like you start out like kind of
You start out on the same place. It's like the same airbase as Nocturne Totem.
and then you go underneath.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, okay, yes, I do remember that one.
and there's the Coffin Dance one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, okay, now I remember. I did play that. That was the first game I had on the PlayStation 5, was Call of Duty Black Ops.
Cold War. That
Cold
one
War.
wasn't Black Ops.
Yeah. That was Cold War was Black Ops, was it not?
Yeah, but I don't think it was called Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War.
I think it is. It's right there. I'm gonna go get it. Hang on.
Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War has so many words.
Yeah, it's Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Yeah.
Wow.
See? This is why physical media is key, people, to win arguments, okay? To win arguments. But with that, that is all for today. We're gonna cut it there because hopefully the audio sounds decent. And if not, I'm gonna have to go through a lot of editing software, but that's okay. So we will be back at some point soon to talk more about these and continue to confuse my brain about what is going on. But uh, yeah, thank you for coming.
Yep.
Do you have anything you want to say before we leave?
No,
No?
I'm good.
Okay, well, yeah. Stay magical, my friends.